New details this morning on the rise of violent threats directed at Canadian politicians. We saw it on the campaign trail in the last federal election, again in Quebec's provincial election last summer. CBC News has now learned Quebec's premier has faced death threats and has even had his personal addresses posted online. Kate McKenna is in Halifax with more on the story. Kate, what have you learned in court documents as far as the details of these threats?
So, Heather, these are documents that we obtained via access to information legislation, and they're from the Terrorism Assessment Center. And so they were looking into death threats received by François Legault in about this time last year, so January 2020. And we can remember at that time, the political climate was very heated. Omicron was on the rise. The convoy was happening. And in Quebec, Legault had just announced a tax on the unvaccinated. Now, he did later change his mind on that, but that was sort of the political climate in which this was happening. And we can see that Canadian intelligence was kind of accumulating all of the threats posted online against him. And it was ugly stuff. There was one post calling for his decapitation. Another person said that they would join an army if it meant killing politicians. Another post suggested that these people, think of a good plan so that they didn't get caught. But the thing that really caught Canadian intelligence eyes was that someone posted Legault's home address, which is a practice called doxing online. And they said that they were really concerned about this because it raised the level of risk. And so they ultimately concluded that an attack was not likely to happen. But they did want to highlight to other law enforcement agencies across the country that this is something that's happening more and more, and it is difficult to judge the validity of these threats. Now, it's not the first time Legault has faced death threats. In fact, up to, I think, even more than 5 people have been arrested for threatening Legault since the beginning of the pandemic. But what was interesting was to know that Canadian intelligence was really keeping a close eye on this too.
It's not a problem exclusive to Quebec, of course, Kate. Where else are we seeing this, and what are the wider implications?
Well, not only are we seeing it in Quebec, we're seeing it federally, we're seeing it in different provinces. We can think of threats received by former Alberta Premier Jason Kenney. We can think of over the summer, Chrystia Freeland was harassed in public, Justin Trudeau as well on the campaign trail. But these documents from the Terrorism Assessment Center say that this is all Western democracies. There does seem to be an increase in anti-government rhetoric online, and these online communities can tend to be echo chambers where people feel emboldened to say whatever they want. The challenge is, of course, just knowing which of these threats is real, is valid, because any one of these actors could have devastating consequences.
Kate McKenna from Halifax, thank you very much.